It is episode number 47 of Let There Be Talk, brought to you by my podcast network, cactusradionetwork.com. You can find all of my podcasts in one-stop shop, cactusradionetwork.com. Let There Be Talk, at home with Byron Katie, Dark Fonzie, and the Grail. Thank you for tuning in every week. Welcome aboard, everybody. It is May 23rd, a Monday. Great weekend of comedy, great weather in LA, and hanging out with some good friends. So all around good weekend. Going to try to see Top Gun Maverick maybe today or tomorrow, who knows? And just enjoy the week. I'm home all week doing comedy around town, so you can catch me probably at the Comedy Store, the Laugh Factory, or I did the Comedy Magic last night, which was amazing. That's down in Hermosa. They have not been open since the COVID shutdown. And this weekend was the first weekend open, and it was just great to be back in there. I had done a lot of spots in there over the years, so it was just, felt like going home, seeing some friends. Francisco Ramos, Chris Porter, and I cruised down in his new Tesla, listening to some rock and roll. That's what Porter and I do when we get together. We talk rock and we listen to rock. So, Sammy Obeid was there, a guy that I basically started comedy with, a Bay Area friend. And it was cool to see everybody down there. Richard, thank you for having me. I know you don't tune into the podcast, but I'm throwing that out into the ether. Is that what they call it? The ether? Great guest today. It's a new Music Monday. Nothing more I love to do than turn you guys on to new music. And today is a fantastic band out of Liverpool called King Hannah. And if you're into that kick-ass 90s, I call it heroin rock, where it's just, Mazzy Star, that kind of just, cloudy weather, get a blanket, and just sink into some grooves. King Hannah is for you. I love this record. I'm Not Sorry, I Was Just Being Me, came out February 25th. I immediately fell in love with the record, had him on the show, and went to see him last Thursday. I took a rare night off to see him. I figured I got to do it. They're over all the way from Liverpool. I can't be one of those people that I'm always yelling at, like, I'll catch you next time. I can't be that person. It makes my skin crawl. So I went to see him at a place called the Moroccan Lounge, downtown LA, a place I have not been. What a cool room. Really cool room. And they got like a front bar where you can hang if you don't want to listen to the music. And then you go through a couple swinging doors, and there it is, a classic rock club. And I enjoyed it. This band killed. Just killed. Oh, man, Craig on the guitar, just throwing out the sonic Radiohead type atmospheric jams. Hannah crushing it with the vocals, just haunting vocals. What a great, great band. Go see this band. They're out on tour right now for a few more weeks around the U.S. Hit them up on their website. Catch them. I highly recommend this record. They also got an EP out. It came out a couple years ago. So that is my guest today, King Hannah. Craig and Hannah will be here talking with you in a few minutes. Before I do get into that, I want to give a shout out to all the Patreoners. Thank you so much for joining my Patreon. All of you out there, it just means the world to me. We just did another bonus episode. Number 127 is up right now. And you can get all the bonus episodes there. Brand new Patreoner, Jara Cohens. Thank you so much for joining up, Jara Cohens. Brand new Patreoner. So, everybody, check it out. Also, tour dates. Oh, I just got a new tour date. July 9th, Austin, Texas. I'm going to be at the Vulcan Gas Company. 2 shows, 1 night only. July 9th, and tickets are on sale right now. And the ticket link is in my Instagram stories. Vulcan Gas Company, 1 night, 2 shows, Austin, Texas. Do not sleep on that. All the tour dates are at deandelray.com, and also the merch. Get your merch. Got some merch there still available. It's almost sold out. Get it before it's gone. And you go, how do I get that shirt? Well, it's gone. I love you guys. I love that you tune in every week, and I hope you're having a fantastic Monday. Candles are lit right now. Let's get into it with a little King Hannah. New Music Monday. All right, introduce yourselves.
I'm Craig.
And I am Hannah. And together we are King Hannah.
King Hannah. King Hannah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'll tell you, somebody sent over your new record to me.
Yeah.
I'm Not Sorry for Being Me. And I was blown away. They're like, you should check this record out, man. I think you're going to dig it. And immediately I just, like the music, kind of a heroin-y sound. I got addicted to this damn record, and I've been spinning it nonstop. It's a tough record to spin in the sunshine in LA. I want gloom. I want rain. I want a blanket,
You need to come here.
Yeah.
I know. It's an incredible record. And I said, I got to have you guys on immediately. So I want to dig into how you guys got started and everything about you. I do hear some Mazzy Star. I hear some Nick Cave in there, some, drenched in reverb vocals. It's just fantastic. It could be on a David Lynch film easily. And I love it. So how did you guys get together? How do you start? What are the influences? The whole world.
Well, thank you very much for saying all those things about us.
Really lovely.
I can't believe that you've actually heard it. That's mad.
Yeah.
We got started. I started working in a bar. This was about 2015, 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And on my first shift, Hannah was the one who was assigned to teach me how to clean tables and run foods and do all that stupid bar stuff. But I
already worked there, didn't I?
Yeah, Hannah already worked there. But I instantly recognized Hannah from a few years earlier. And when I'd seen her perform at a university band night that my friend was also performing at, and the night was really bad, the music was terrible, but Hannah got up on her own and played a song on an acoustic, like a folksy kind of song that she had written, and she just completely blew me away. So when I started working in this bar, I was instantly like, I remember you, I've seen you perform. And then we just got talking about music, and we just became really close friends, and then that's basically how all this started, isn't it?
Yeah.
Craig, obviously you were playing music, and Hannah, you were playing music, and you're just doing the waiter job and stuff. But Craig, were you in bands before this, or what was the history of both of you? Hannah, were you just solo trying to make it in a coffee shop scene?
Yeah. So I've played in not very good bands since I was 13 or 14, just kind of very small things. And I think you've been the same, haven't you?
Always in bands and trying to find the right people to make this happen, and always just constantly always writing songs just every day for as long as I can remember.
That's amazing. Now, Hannah, I understand where the sound's coming from. So what is your background on, your influences?
When I was it must have been a teenager, I've always admired female fronted bands and females who are, a bit attitudey and, that kind of thing. And I really loved Catatonia, Skunk Anansie. I was a big Skunk Anansie fan. And then it grew into Portishead. So it was that very 90s
right,
female fronted thing that I proper loved as a young girl, which my big sister got me into. And it all stemmed from there. It was the idea of being this woman so in control and singing a little heart out that I remember falling in love with and wanting to do first. And then I remember thinking, well, to do that, I've got to learn to write songs. So then I remember trying to see if I could write songs. And then that's how that began.
A big thing on the record is obviously the production. That gives it the haunting flavor and sound. But when you were just writing songs, did you have that sound in your mind? Like, okay, I want to have this drenched, kind of reverby, scary vocal. Was that in your mind? Because obviously when you're writing in the apartment, unless you're doing it into a demo where you can have some reverb, were you just, picturing this is how it's going to sound?
Yeah, I think some in particular. So the moods that I get in, we always knew that one was going to be drenched and like you said, reverby and big. And I think that's because Mazzy Star were a big influence around that time. But we take it song by song, so really straight away how you want it to end up, don't you? In terms of sound. Yeah,
we always have a very clear idea, Hannah and I, about how the song should sound before we start recording it. And it's, as Hannah said, it's usually who we're listening to at the time and who have been like huge influences on the writing process.
It's amazing that, I don't hear anything about Hope Sandoval anymore at all. Do you guys even, this has nothing to do with you, but I wonder what happened to her. Does she make music still?
I think she still makes music. I don't know when the last thing she brought out was, but it's been
I'm not so sure, actually.
Yeah. I think she's one of those people who just kind of does what she wants. We kind of admire those people who don't constantly just hammer people with records.
Yeah.
So you guys meet at this restaurant, and how long does it take before you guys start playing together? Like, hey, let's try playing some music together.
A while. I think we were both really nervous about playing in front of each other for the first time. So it took a lot of encouragement. It took about a year or so. I remember we got into a little routine where, because we do a night shift in the bar, and then our routine was we would go to Craig's flat. I would walk to Craig's flat with my little guitar, and then I'd always have a song ready to show you, wouldn't I? But I was always too nervous to sing, so we'd always just never actually. We'd put everything in the way, so I didn't have to do it, even though I really wanted to. And then we go, it's 5 o'clock, we better go for our shift. And then that happened for about a year until.
Wow.
Yeah, it really was a long it was just building up those guts, I think, the courage to. And then you have since said that you were also very nervous about playing guitar because Craig had no one. I'd been told Craig was really good at playing guitar, but I hadn't heard Craig play guitar, and you.
Yeah, I could have been terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting to play guitar in this kind of music because it's not your standard guitar playing. You have to figure out how to play atmospheric. Knowing how to put in these sounds. It's like a jangle. It's kind of Radiohead-ish, where there's just some stuff here and there coming in and out. And it's really a key part of the sound, because if there's this crunchy gung, 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 it just doesn't work. It has to be spacey.
Yeah, it has to. The way I sort of look at it is it has to kind of bring out more of the emotion of what Hannah is singing about. So it's a lot of kind of textures, and they're the kind of guitarists that I love. It's like Johnny Greenwood and like Nels Cline and Wilco and stuff. Just kind of they don't do anything that's kind of that gets in the way of the music until if it has to be kind of angular and in the way it is, but for the most part it's just kind of lifting the music in the best way that it can.
Now, did it take a long time to figure out to perfect the sound? Did you sound different at the beginning? I know you had an EP out in 2020, but before that, were you trying to evolve the sound, or was it just coming out right away?
Yeah, we did. We sounded very different, didn't we?
Yeah, very.
I think that at the start it was maybe a little bit more folksy, maybe not quite folksy. We were listening to like a lot of Laura Marlin.
Yeah.
And people like that. Before we released Creme Brulee, which was our first single, that we self-released that in 2019. Mm-hmm. We had recorded a lot, and there are a lot of songs that we finished and then decided that's just not how we want to kind of portray ourselves, or it wasn't up to like the standard that we knew we could hit. And even going to the EP, I think we sound different from there, and I think it should be a constant like evolution, and you should be finding new ways to be.
Yeah, we had a one single in particular that we were ready to release, and Craig and I just and a few people went back and worked on it because we were so unhappy with how it sounded, and it just ended up didn't want to do anything with it, did we?
No.
And then we did the same with an EP, which is what Creme Brulee came from, but the rest of the EP we've put to one side and don't want to listen to.
Or have anyone ever listen to.
So you don't like the EP. I mean, the EP, like Bill Tench, is up tempo and there's definitely the reverby flavor in there, but it doesn't come close to the new record where it's really, I mean, it's just got it,
Thank you. No, we love that EP. We're really proud of that EP. I meant one, previous to that we didn't release.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's what I meant.
But we definitely prefer the album to the EP.
The sound of the album and the songwriting, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's just developed, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But you're right. Yeah, we were listening to the artists we were listening to when we wrote and recorded the EP, Tell Me Your Mind, are so different to the artists we were listening to when we wrote the album. So like Craig said earlier, who we're listening to really reflects in our writing and how the sound of our music.
I love the names of the EP and the record. Tell me your mind and I'll tell you your mind. That's like a great line. And then the record, I'm not sorry, I'm just being me. Both just great sayings.
Yeah.
It's like really unique, because it's always weird. Like, what are we going to call the record? You name it after one of the songs or whatever, but really, really interesting. And another thing that goes with the whole thing that you're doing is the flavor of like the artwork and the videos and everything. It's just a whole package. It's all there. It just feels so authentic. And everything there is perfect. It's just like, wow, it's just, there it is,
Oh, that's so kind.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now, when you guys start to play live, do you play live and get a record deal? Is it a traditional way where somebody saw you and an A&R guy, or how does this happen? You get a couple people and you start playing live gigs?
So the way that we got signed was originally we kind of played about 6 or 7 times around. So we're based in Liverpool in England, and we found that we were just we were playing the same gigs to the same people, and we weren't really getting anywhere. So that's when we decided, let's go into the studio and let's make something and kind of make something that will get us out of that cycle of like Liverpool bands. And one of those songs was Creme Brulee. So then we just released that ourselves on Spotify, and then that got picked up by some very small blogs. And it had like a few thousand listens on Spotify. And somebody from City Slang, who's the record label we eventually signed with, got in touch and said somehow she'd heard this song and said, I really like this song. Do you have anything else to show us? And we didn't.
Or not that we felt comfortable enough to show.
Yeah. So then we were like, no. And then that's when we were like, we need to make an EP.
And we need to make it the best we possibly can, because this is a record label, or it's not it's a record deal, or it's not a record deal.
Yeah.
It's that extreme.
Yeah. So then we made the EP and sent it to them, hoping that they'd like it enough to sign us, and thankfully they did.
When you go in to make the EP, you guys paid for it yourself, and where do you do it? Was it on tape or just at the house? How did you do this? We had
a friend called Ted White, and he produced the EP in his studio that we paid him for.
It was a very small kind of very
sort of
small,
like a home, makeshift studio.
And we recorded quite a lot of the guitars and some of Hannah's vocal just in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Which
That's because lockdown started.
We finished it as the lockdown started.
Yeah.
But we also recorded some little parts for the album in here as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very like both the EP and the album were very like DIY, us
hands-on.
Yeah, in a room, kind of figuring out how to record it.
And we'd like to do that more moving forward as well.
Yeah.
Once you drop the EP, do you start touring, or are you trapped because of the lockdown? You're just sitting in the house with this EP trying to promote it.
It was in lockdown, wasn't it?
Yeah. So we didn't tour the EP at all, did we?
No, we didn't.
We did like a year after it came out, we did a UK tour, which I guess that was the tour for the EP. But
Yeah,
I mean,
I guess so.
it was a whole year after it came out.
Yeah, but then we were told that we were, offered the first album. So we basically spent the whole of lockdown writing and recording that album.
For the album,
Yeah.
This album's incredible. I mean, when it opens up right away, it's just like, oh my God. I mean, it's immediately comes in with just haunting flavor. And you're like, oh, wow, this is great. Now, Craig, do you sing one on the record, huh?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. I was all of a sudden there's a man's voice. And I'm like, what is it? Ants crawling, that one.
Yeah.
But now, what was the decision on that? Did Hannah, did you just feel he should sing that one?
No, it was, we had to do this very, very quickly, this album, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like 8 months in total. And you just said,
I had this kind of, yeah. I had like a few little parts of the songs and showed them to Hannah, which I always do. I mean, a lot of the songs come from like just little parts that we both come up with and all that. And yeah, I just felt this one in particular fit the mood of the album because it's quite small and it doesn't really go anywhere and it's quite strange but also a little bit nostalgic and stuff. And yeah, and we love singing together, don't we, and stuff. So
we do.
I mean, it works great. I'm just wondering, going forward, would it be a 2-singer group, because I think sometimes when you do have a severe style, like this is what it is, if you do break it up a little bit, it kind of, can go all over the place eventually,
Yeah.
Yeah. And we don't kind of put any restrictions on stuff, do we?
No.
If it sounds good and it like means something to us and makes us feel something, then it'll end up on the album. I think that's like the way we kind of feel about it.
Yeah.
Now, you guys get the record deal, you put the record together. How's the label been? Have they been excited about the record?
Yeah. We honestly, every single day we talk about how incredible City Slang are as a label. They are. I don't know if are you friendly with them or any ever sort of come in contact with anyone from the label?
No, not at all. I booked this through you guys on Instagram, so I've had no contact with the label. Who else do they have?
So they're quite like a range of people now, don't they? They have like Caribou is their probably big one.
Yeah.
Right.
Then you have like Tinder Sticks, Lamb Chop.
Oh yeah, Tinder Sticks, great band.
Yeah.
And then going back, they've been going since like the early 90s.
But traditionally that's what they are, aren't they? They're like a 90s label.
Yeah.
And they like that's what they're built on.
Yeah. So in the 90s they had like Yola Tango and a few other people. But they couldn't have been better with us.
Supportive,
yeah. Because we're such a new band and they basically we went into a studio and started making it ourselves and they didn't chase us up or anything. It was they just let us make the album that we wanted to make. And
I think they trust us, which is, I think, a really big deal in this industry because that's all we ask for, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we want to make the best music we can make. So to have that supporting hand just there is wonderful. We're very grateful.
What's amazing is you guys are such what I would call Lollapalooza band back in the 90s. Like if you guys were around then, you would definitely be playing Lollapalooza, and people, there'd be the hype. King Hannah on the second stage, you know what I mean? Like, oh, fuck, these guys are great, The sun would have to be down though, man. The sun would have to be down.
Yeah. We're not a daytime band, I don't think.
No.
I know. Now, is the band 4-piece when you're out touring?
Yeah.
And Hannah, you play guitar also.
Oh, I just play really simple chords. I'm not a guitarist by any stretch of the imagination.
But I mean, on stage, you play guitar, like rhythm guitar, right?
Yes, I do.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you got, and then Craig guitar and then bass and drums.
Yeah.
Yep. Traditional.
Yeah.
Right. No keyboards?
No, we did have, so Ted, who worked on the album as well, he used to play keys for us last year, but we're just trying to do it as a 4 at the minute. I mean, for a few different reasons, but like it's cheaper to do it as a 4 as well for like a new band. And I think it works, doesn't it?
I think it really worked. I've nothing like at all against Ted, but I think it sounds more like us without a synth. And I don't mean Ted.
Yeah. No, I think it works as a 4 because like it's just like a rock kind of.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's like a traditional setup.
That classic kind of like 90s. Yeah. Thing.
Yeah, and you need that a lot of open space with this music. You know, you got to let that vocal get out there and just kind of breathe, you know. So if you're muddying it up with too much layers, it's going to disappear from the spacey sound, you know. And
actually, a few people that because when we did the UK tour, we had synth on that, and then when we've just done our EU tour, we didn't have synth, and a few people that managed to come to both tours commented on that and said that it sounds a lot spacier and less muddy the second time around.
Yeah,
and that's we think that's because we've gotten rid of a few bits and bobs.
Yeah.
So
now, how long did the record take to make, the new one?
So from starting to write it to handing in the master, it was like 7 or 8 months, wasn't it? Which for us is very, very quick.
Yeah.
Because we didn't bring any songs from the past.
The moods that I get in.
Oh yeah, the moods that I get in.
The moods that I get in was half written.
Oh, that's my favorite song on the record. It is. That is the centerpiece of this record. It's just kind of like, oh shit. You know?
Yeah, that's what we want.
You're going through and you're like, oh yeah, I get this. And then that song comes on and it's like, wow. You know?
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Thank you.
That's one of our favorites.
Yeah, we like playing that one live as well, don't we?
Yeah, we love playing that live.
I love this go-kart kid. I'm just a go-kart freak. I think the innocence of being young and being behind the wheel, your first time, which is always a go-kart, the freedom of that, or a mini bike, is mind-boggling. And there's memories as you get older of like your first go-kart ride, and then your first record and your first, concert. Those things are giant memories, So anything go-kart, it's just, it makes me crazy. It doesn't matter what it is. I see a go-kart and I'll just stop in my tracks like, go-kart. It just takes you back to the simple times, man, of just a weird little lawnmower engine, that smell, the sound, Fun, man.
I was going to say mine didn't have an engine. They were different in the UK, it sounds
yeah, remember those? You get on the top of a hill and you coast.
Yeah. Those ones,
those are hilarious, like soapbox derby and stuff. You just got like a brake. You hope it works. It's like a hand. You're like, I'm not stopping. Now, Craig, what guitars and effects are you using, and amps and stuff to? Obviously it's different in the studio, but live to create the sound of the record.
So live, I got her. So I 10:30 just after we finished the album. So I bought her Jazzmaster. So that's what I've been using live. Pedals, I'm constantly changing. I'm like I think it's an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, slightly.
And I haven't actually found my amp yet. I think that's a big thing that I need to tick off. So on the tour, I was using our sound engineers. He had like a Hot Rod Deluxe, and then that broke. So I ended up using a Blues Junior, but the Blues Junior is too small. I can't push it as far as I want for like the really loud bit to kind of like starts like spluttering and cuts out.
Yeah.
So I need to go to like an amp warehouse or something and just plug into every single one and find the amp.
Have you ever tried the Roland Jazz Core?
No, a few people have said that.
Yeah, it's a transistor amp, but that's like how U2 and Metallica and all those people would get that weird kind of clean, reverby, spacey sound stuff, and they're bulletproof.
Yeah. I've quite a few people have recommended them. Maybe I should Should give them a go. But I love the idea of having like a valve amp and just cranking it. But to be honest, the stages we're playing at the minute are so small that me having like a ridiculously loud valve amp would just be a waste.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Could you turn the guitar down?
Yeah.
Could you turn the guitar down? We still got too much guitar. All of a sudden you're not even in the house. It's just vocals and then you're off the stage. Hey, you guys are coming to the States, right?
Yeah. We're leaving this Friday.
Oh my God. Now, when are you here?
So we are here. We are there. Oh, in LA. Oh God.
Let's get the diaries out.
Let's get the diaries out.
Yeah, I got to see this.
Oh, are you going to come to the show?
Absolutely.
Oh,
So I mean, I hope I'm not doing a show. I'm a comedian, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, that would be excellent.
Oh, God, I'm dying to see it.
LA, top one.
Yeah. So we're there on the 18th of May.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, I'm around. Killer. Where's that?
We're playing the Moroccan Lounge.
Okay.
I have no idea.
I don't either. And I know most of the venues. And are you headlining?
Yeah, so so we're doing like a tour. It's our headline tour.
Rad.
How
many dates?
Well, it's from our first date is in Montreal on the 1st of May, and then our last date is on the 2nd of June.
Oh, that's great.
So I think it's around 2021, something like that.
So good.
It's our first US.
Have you been to the US?
Yeah, so we played there in March. We played a show in Brooklyn.
Played Union Pool. Do you know the venue Union Pool?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, we played there.
And then we played South by Southwest. But that was the first time we'd ever been over there to play.
Our Union Pool show was sold out, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Which is very cool.
I don't know if much of the tour is going to be sold out.
No, me neither. Union Pool was.
I mean, to me, my favorite part of the show, I've been doing the show 11 years. And I have huge acts on. But what really excites me is finding new music. And it's always been like that since I was a kid. Just finding new music. It's like panning for gold. And then, telling people, they're like, I love it when they go, so what do you listen to? I'm like, and you fire stuff at them and their eyes are just kind of like in a daze, like, I haven't heard of any of that, and that excites me. Like, oh yeah. And it's been happening on this show for, since I started it 11 years ago. I find these acts and it's funny because they won't have as much, as many people listen on the episode. But I think now people are trusting the show so much that it doesn't matter who's on. They know if it's on, it's going to be something I dig and they'll probably dig. So I really love looking back at the track record over the years of the people I've had on that people didn't know about. And now the bands are pretty fairly big,
Yeah.
One of them being Rival Sons, which I think is one of the greatest rock bands in the last 20 years,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it really, I just had a band on a couple of days ago called The Americans from Los Angeles, and they're kind of like the band Wilco,
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And I think it's so vital for people to constantly push new music because of these people that say there's no good music anymore. They're just lazy. They don't seek it out. It doesn't mean what it's supposed to mean to them anymore, but to me, that's a reason to wake up each day, write a new joke and find some new music,
Oh, that's so good.
That's a good thing to do.
Yeah. Are you guys comedy fans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Well, I know comedy in the UK is so different than the US comedy, So in the US comedy is huge right now. Well, not right now, but always. So I was, I'm about to do a show with a guy from the UK, Jimmy Carr. And,
are you?
Yeah. And he's a friend of mine. And I know a lot of musicians love to listen and watch comedy on the tour bus or in the van or whatever to kind of break up the monotony,
We'll have to watch
I went to see Bill Burr when he played in England a few years ago.
Well, you did? Where at?
And he was in Liverpool.
Yeah.
He played in Liverpool in the Philharmonic. It was in the Philharmonic. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. Oh man, that's cool. You went to that. Now, are you guys a couple or what's happening there?
No.
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 You're not the first person to ask.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got to ask because you just never know, you know. What I mean? Like you guys met, and then you know, I get it, you know, but it's always funny thing. Like sometimes people meet, they become a couple, and then if they break up, the band breaks up.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous game.
Dangerous game.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. Yeah. I love that. It's funny to me to think about. I mean, look at one of the greatest groups ever. I think you know, Jack White and you know, the White Stripes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's probably never going to happen again, you know.
Yeah, that's over. Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens to so many bands, isn't it? Yeah. I think it's probably best to.
A band is a relationship, so then you got two relationships, which is brutal.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you got that fucking Fleetwood Mac thing.
Yeah.
Where everybody's like, I fucking hate you. I hate you too. And they're out there touring after they break up. Oh my God. Brutal.
Yeah, maybe we'll just stick to friends.
Yeah, let's just stick with it.
Yeah. So Liverpool, man, that's there's been some good music out of there over the years. Did you guys see the Beatles doc?
We did.
Ooh, we are almost finished.
Yeah, we haven't watched the last episodes, but that's just a live show, isn't it? We've seen all the other ones.
Yeah.
We love it, yeah. We love it.
Did you see it?
Oh my God, I loved it. You know? Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
Like, to see, I mean, I played music for years. You guys played music. It's really exciting to see. Like, people don't know how songs or jokes are written. They think that it's like some kind of thing, you know, where it just happens. You know, you just show up at the studio and we wrote I Got a Feeling Today or whatever, you know, but
yeah,
to be able to see cameras capture when the thing comes from the magic land into the hands, mind, and mouth. You know, like when Paul's in the background, you know, let it be, you know, and the other guys are just eating sandwiches.
Yeah.
It's like one of the greatest songs ever being written 2 feet away.
Yeah.
And so to be able to see magic happen is unbelievable, you know, because I write a lot on stage and I listen to the recordings and I'm always like, God, it's so weird how that just came out of nowhere. And I said that to somebody once and they said, don't they all? And I was like, you're so right. You're so right. They all come from out of nowhere, the songs. If they didn't, you would just sit down each day and write like 40 songs.
Yeah.
I got to go turn on the songwriting right now, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that Beatles documentary was insane. Like seeing Paul sort of just get back out of nothing and seeing like his sort of cogs spinning just as and he writes it on a bass as well, just like power chords on a bass.
Yeah.
And then he ends up writing one of the most famous songs of all time. It's like to capture that is insane.
That's what's beautiful because that's how the songs come. And you know that like when you just strum at a guitar, it's something hits you all of a sudden. You're like, oh God, there's something there. And usually it used to happen to me a lot in guitar stores. I'd be out shopping guitars. I'd pull one off the wall and songs would start coming out. I go, oh, I got to buy this one, you know, and I buy it. Yeah. And I feel like there's songs inside instruments also. Yeah. And they get freed and then you sell that instrument and move on, you know, it's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never thought of it like that.
Yeah. You've wrote I think every single song on the same guitar, haven't you?
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah.
Wow, really? You wrote them all on the same guitar?
Yeah, it's just it's just a little acoustic guitar I have. Yeah, I think I had it for my 18th birthday.
Wow.
Or 21st.
Was it your first guitar?
Second.
Yeah, it's funny how
it's just comfortable. It's just a comfortable guitar. There's nothing, you know, it's nothing special or anything. It's my little acoustic guitar.
But there must be a reason that you wrote them on.
It sounds nice. It sounds warm.
Yeah.
I love the videos. You know,
thank you.
Yeah.
Craig makes them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I make the music videos. Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. And so how do you do them? Do you shoot them with iPhones and throw it in iMovie, or what do you do?
Well, it started with Creme Brulee. Because it was during lockdown and we were releasing it. We needed a music video, so I was like, I'll do it. I've always wanted to try filmmaking, but I've never actually tried it before. So we just rented a DSLR camera, and just went out and shot some stuff and then edited together. That's it, really. I mean, it's getting harder to think of ideas for stuff now, especially when you're like writing everything and then it's like, oh, and now you need a music video.
Yeah.
It's like, so maybe eventually I'll let someone else make them. But I also I love the idea of, like, as you mentioned before, being kind of like a package and like us being in control of every single aspect of that.
Yeah.
Because the visuals have such an impact on how people interpret music and stuff. So I think that having complete control over that is really important. Sometimes
if you think of a song, you think of the music video first. And we love the idea of, trying to make that happen, don't we?
Yeah.
Or thinking of a color and associating it with a song. Maybe.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, if you think about a David Lynch film, a lot of the long kind of still weird scenes, what's really driving it is the music behind it.
Yeah.
So it's that combination of the visual and the sound is drawing you in. And you're just going like, wow, what is this song that's driving me in here? Same with the Tarantino. He really finds the perfect songs that really go with the scene, and that is a key thing, because it really doesn't matter what the video is as long as it is the flavor of the music,
Yeah. It's similar to making music in a way that you have to just kind of like capture a feeling, and it doesn't have to be like with music. It for us, it's not about capturing everything as like perfectly and clinically as you can possibly capture it. It's about capturing a performance and it sounding like people in a room. And I think the music videos are similar in a way that we kind of, it's DIY and they're kind of grainy and a bit low budget, but if it makes you feel something, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Super expensive.
Yeah. That's just how we like to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the coolest stuff from the 60s, if you look at some of that psychedelic era stuff, it's just 16 Kodachrome, a guy out there filming this, like those old, like Grateful Dead or, Airplane, Jefferson Airplane, or surf and skateboard stuff. As soon as you see it, it draws you in. And it's just a guy out there with a 16 millimeter Kodachrome camera, right. And you're like, whoa, look how great that looks. And now everything's 4K and super HD and everything. It doesn't even come close to looking good.
No.
People look like aliens.
Yeah.
Everything's so bright and clean and pristine, and
there's no there's no heart to any of that stuff. There's no like emotion to it.
No.
It's just blowout. It's just
and it's just like money. Like so much money's gone into this,
Yeah.
If that's what you mean. Like,
yeah. It's almost like people are like, well, we need them to spend money, so they're in debt. So we need a super video, Well, who needs that? Nobody's even watching it. Like, they're on YouTube. It's not super visual capability. They're watching it on their phone,
Yeah.
This shit looks great right here. We shot it with the green screen in our bathroom, and it's cool.
Yeah. And there's a story to it, it's got meaning. It's come from a place.
Yeah. It's like, and it's the same with like anything kind of like movies that are made for like Netflix and stuff now, and compared to how movies looked in like the 70s.
Right.
For me, it's just like chalk and cheese. You know what I mean? It's even though the stuff in the 70s was probably so much cheaper and whatever. There's just no. It just make it say as Kevin said, just make you feel anything. Seeing a perfectly crystal clear image.
No, absolutely not.
And also it matters what the product is, just like your music. I always say it doesn't matter, people that sit around and listen to tones and snare tones and guitar tones. I'm like, you're missing the whole thing, you know? I mean, I could watch a movie like Gummo that costs probably $100 to make, and it's just incredible. And then you can watch a movie that costs $100 million, like a Spider-Man film or something. I'm like, I don't feel this, you know? I mean, yeah, it's the big blockbuster, but what does it mean at the end of the day? You know, 5 years from now, nobody cares, you know?
Yeah.
We watch quite a lot of films, don't we?
Yeah.
And they're always like the sort of
those are kind of like low budget
DIY stuff.
Yeah.
They are genuinely they're our favorites, aren't they?
We shy away from like the spectacles, don't we? I think.
Yeah.
We love films that don't really go anywhere and don't do an awful lot,
and we like music like that as well.
Yeah. So I think we do think films are quite we think films play quite a big part in our lives, don't they?
Yeah.
Films are very inspirational for music. You can go see a great film and then come home and be inspired to write music or jokes or write anything, because the proper ones that take you on a ride, you know, like an Apocalypse Now, when you see a saga, you're like, how could I get to that level at anything I'm doing in life? You know, the level of art in an Apocalypse Now or a Coppola film. How can I get to there? You know, how can I get to the Coen brothers level of art, you know, or David Lynch? How can I be outside the box, but the cool people like it? You know, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, there's these threads. It's Nick Cave. It's you know, it's David Lynch. It's all of that. It's Bukowski. It's over your years. You take in all the cool stuff and hope you can mix it up, you know? And that's what your record did to me, man. It inspired me to seek you guys out, get you on right away. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm fired up to see you guys. What's the Liverpool music scene like these days? You know, it had such a rich history back in the day. What's it like now?
I mean, it's strange, really, because we don't really feel too much a part of it, do we?
No, I think because we made the decision years ago to stop the few gigs that we had done to record, and then because COVID happened, there wasn't a music scene at all. And then ever since stuff sort of slowly come back into play, we just haven't really been here. But to be honest, I don't think there is much of a music scene. Manchester is the next big city, and that's where everybody seems to go for gigs.
Yeah, I think a lot of the UK is like that, though, isn't it? I think because we've just done this tour in Europe, which is our first Europe tour, and just seeing how I think a lot of the venues are kind of funded by the arts councils in their countries, and in this country, it's not really like that at all. So you can kind of see how art and music is respected a lot more there, and is, you know, treated as kind of like a vital part of society, and, you know, a part of like a country's like identity. And it doesn't seem to really be the case in this country as much.
It's wild because it's such a rich history of music, you know?
Yeah, well, during lockdown, there was that thing where the government it was like a campaign they put out trying to encourage artists and creative people to retrain into, you know, jobs that, you know, could survive a pandemic.
Wow.
Instead of it was like,
steer you away from the arts, quit being a loser and get into something that'll make you have a comfortable, you know, living and no thrill at all.
That's it. That's literally it. That was basically their whole campaign. Yeah, it was
God,
like,
damn, that's evil.
Exactly. Yeah, and it kind of shows how they think of art as being this kind of like dispensable thing that like, or disposable thing that isn't vital to, I don't know, being a human being. Whereas, you go to other parts of the world, and it maybe, obviously I've only spent a small amount of time in these places, but it seems to be more of like a vital part of the culture of these places.
Well, I think anybody that doesn't respect the art, any art, filmmaking, poetry, music, comedy, or anything, what you need to do with those people is put them somewhere where there is none of that for about a month and see how fast they go crazy.
But they wouldn't. There's no that doesn't exist though, does it? Because art it's everywhere. Because it's buildings there's architects designing them. There's interior designers. So I just think it was maybe
it's just taken for granted. You know?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Well, they didn't quite understand the degree of what art is.
Yeah.
Well, I think even with the people that don't understand the value of music, just take it away from like, you know, when they're standing in line at a coffee shop or at an airport or anywhere where there's just sitting there and they got to sit still with their thoughts and then watch how fast they want some music. They're like, oh my God, I don't like what I'm hearing with my brain. Give me some drown out, you know, like it's really bizarre to think about people that don't understand the value of, I mean, you know, of music and art and everything. It's crazy, you know, it's really crazy. But, you know, like I said, they've never been in a world without it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It should be put in some kind of no art prison for a little bit. All right. You're in these 4 gray walls. And there you go. And they go, well, what about TV? No,
people have got to make those programs.
Yeah, people got to make them. Yeah, we recommend you get out of the arts and get into a job. Oh my God. That's got to be the grossest thing I've heard in a long time. You know?
The poster there was a poster that they made that I think it was very quickly brought down because because there was so much negativity came from it. It was just the worst thing they could have done.
It was like an episode of Black Mirror or something. It was weird.
I wonder what evil person pitched that campaign. Like, you know, just in a room, like, all right, look, I'm tired of these freeloaders saying they're going to make music and get a record deal. So let's steer them out of that and get them back into the society of factory working or whatever. You know?
Yeah, it's bad. Very bad.
Yeah, it's evil. It's evil. Yeah.
Even the people that have the jobs that they're talking about would trade with musicians any day of their life. Like, hey, you want to go out on a rock tour? Yes, please. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. And thank you so much for doing the show. I will please stay in touch also. And,
definitely.
Yeah. And everybody get their record. I'm not sorry. I'm just being me. It's out right now. It's on all your streaming platforms. Is there vinyl version of it?
There is, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's vinyl. Yeah.
There is indeed.
Colored vinyl.
Yeah. Marble colored vinyl.
That's great.
Recycled colored vinyl.
That's very nice.
It's good.
Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. And I highly recommend you guys check it out and go see them. They're doing a U.S. tour. They've got an Instagram. I believe it's King Hannah, right? Yeah.
Yep, correct.
King Hannah Music.
King Hannah Music.
King Hannah Music.
Yeah.
And then after this tour, anything set up for like the summer or something, like opening for anybody or anything?
Yeah, so right after we finish the US tour, we fly to Barcelona.
Primavera.
Yeah, we play Primavera in Barcelona. Then we have a few dates supporting Thurston Moore.
Oh, rad.
And Dive.
And then a band called Dive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we go back to Canada at the end of July to play a few festivals.
That's great.
Yeah. So it's a very exciting, busy.
Very exciting. Yeah.
Well, I hope you guys. I wish you guys the best, and I hope you guys get on some great tours and get it out there. And I'm going to constantly be pushing it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I do a lot of interviews myself. People ask me, like I said, who I'm listening to, and King Hannah. I'll tell them King Hannah.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I got a band you guys should check out because I always like to turn bands onto bands. Houndmouth.
Okay.
Houndmouth.
Writing them down.
Oh my God. Incredible band.
Houndmouth. Okay. It's written
kind of
down.
Like the band meets Wilco B in their era.
Wow,
okay. Sold.
Yeah.
Unreal songwriting.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We'll check them out.
Yeah. Check it out.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us on as well. We're like a tiny little band from Liverpool, and
but
I really appreciate it.
I love it, and this is my favorite thing of the show, just to turn people on to great music like this. So thank you, and I will see you guys in May 18th.
Yeah, we'll see you there.
Yeah.
Moroccan.
Can't wait.
All right.
Thank you again.
Thank you. And
Thanks,
everybody
Steve.
Subscribe to the show, Let There Be Talk, on iTunes and YouTube, and stream it wherever you listen, and listen to their music. And good luck, guys. I'll see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Yep.
Thank you. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.